they have in short become more active learners. So with a flipped kind of classroom, it is going to promote an active student rather than a passive student. Any course can be flipped. So any course that you are carrying out, you can be able to flip it as long as it has a direct instruction component. Sometimes it might be challenging because it might take quite some time, but of course it is going to save you time and stress in the long run. So I want us to talk about the 4 pillars, the pillars in which flipped classroom is based. So the 4 pillars of the flipped classroom method include the following. 1, we have what we call the flexible learning environment. And one of the hallmarks of a flipped classroom is that it provides fluid timelines for students to work and comprehend what they have been given. Teachers should adjust to the pace of their students in class. So flipped classroom as one of the pillars, flexible learning environment. It actually provides enough time, enough timeline for the students to be able to work on the work that they've been provided, and that allows them to be able to comprehend more. The other one, of course, is the learning culture. Teachers foster a rich environment that allows students to delve further into topics and provide them with opportunities for self-reflections and hands-on activities. And then the other thing you need to understand is that the pillar is there is what we call the intentional content, where teachers decide ahead of time what direct instruction to pair with classroom activities. As a teacher, you can be able to say, what activity can I be able to pair? Or what activity can I be able to link together with the class activities that I'm going to be able to carry out? Of course, students should feel privileged, or should feel challenged, but able to understand the material on their own, a balance, which can take time for teachers to master. And then the last thing, and the last pillar is professional educator. Monitoring students during the lessons and offering feedback ensures no gaps in student knowledge. And that tells you as a teacher, you are supposed to be a professional, you are supposed to ensure that you understand the model of flipped classroom. You need to be able to understand. One thing I want to tell you is that teachers are supposed to be learning all through. As a teacher, you are a lifelong learner, and that is something that we cannot be able to dispute. So there are a few steps that you need to observe. Number 1, when you are the steps to a flipped classroom. I want to talk about the steps to a flipped classroom. We need to understand which technology we want to use. That is very, very important. There are different technologies that you can be able to use. Of course, we have the low tech and the high tech, depending on the level where you are. You really need to choose something that is easy and straightforward for you. As an educator, you need to be able to choose something that you are not going to struggle with. Otherwise, you might find so many challenges when you start implementing it in front of students who may be having a clue, or who may be having a knowledge of the kind of technology that you are using. When Corona struck, most of the teachers were not actually conversant with some of these technologies, like Microsoft Teams, like Zoom, like Google in the classroom, and so many other applications. Most of the teachers were not conversant with them. But as you go to jump into a flipped classroom, it is important to know that you need to be able to understand which technology am I going to use, and the technology that I'm going to use, am I well conversant with it? So the videos themselves are not meant to be worthy of the silver screen. When I talk about the videos are not meant to be worthy of silver screen, it means you need to be able to come up with simple videos that the students can be able to watch in their home environment. These videos are meant to teach your content, not to show off your editing skills. So you don't need to go for very complicated editing skills, but you just need to be simple, a simple kind of video that students can be able to go through. And of course, the key thing here is to make them in one take. If you slip up a little bit, it's no big deal. Of course, it should be a video of up to around 5 minutes. And I think with the Kenyans, I think most of the Kenyan educators for the past 1 week, you have been talking about remote learning methodologies. And the videos that we have been telling you to come up with under the practicum, there have been 5-minute videos. So these videos are videos that the students can be able to watch at home, and they can be able to go through them. They can be able to, after the videos, they can be able to take assignments. They can actually be able to, comprehend it, and when they come back to school, they can be able to discuss about the same. There are so many ways that you can be able to flip your lectures. The low-tech, less time-consuming approach is to film yourself with a film cam. So the best way you can be able to do this, of course, would be just taking a camera and then filming yourself. You can even use your cell phone. Then you can just upload your video into YouTube, preferably at your own channel. It is that easy. So I just want to see if I can be able to get one of the videos that was shared to me by one of the educators when we were carrying out the flipped classroom. So this is one of the, I don't know if it is the one.
Hello, we are not getting, I'm not getting you clearly. There is a problem with network.
Hello, Gatatik? Hello? Hello, Gatatik?
Yes, hello, Felix. Yeah, I can hear your voice clearly.
Okay. So I was just showing you one of the simple videos that have been designed by one of the teachers that you can be, and I wanted you to have a look at it as the teacher is, this is one of the simple videos you can be able to take using your phone.
We cannot hear the voice of the video, Felix.
Okay. Yes?
You can share the screen again and then including the sound, please.
Okay, let me do that.
My name is Joy. I'm in grade
I hope you can be able to hear the sound now.
primary, and this is
Yes.
how we wash
Yes,
our hands.
yes.
My name is Joy. I'm in grade 3. I am in Nagmoru primary, and this is how we wash our hands. First, you start with running water. You wet your hands. You apply soap. You scrub, pump, and finger to finger. After you finish, you rinse your hands, and that is how we wash our hands. Thank you.
So that is just a simple video that you can be able to carry out, that you can be able to, that is how simple the flipped classroom video can be. So you don't need to make it very complicated, but that is how simple you can make your your video. Just let me just some minutes. So that video has been done by one of the educators from Kajiado County by the name Violet. So it's one of the videos that she was able to come with during the time for the practicum. So there are so many ways you can be able to flip your lectures, as I said. Of course, the low tech, I've said you can be able to do it using just your cell phone or using a camera. And of course, there are other applications that you can be able to use for the iTech. If you are comfortable with the iTech, you can be able to use applications like Camtasia to be able to capture your voice along with your computer screen. You can be able to combine both. And in this kind of approach, having my face on the screen for the first 10 or last 10 seconds as an introduction, and you wrap up. So the other thing that step 2 you can be able to do is you need to decide which video service you'll be able to use to publish your videos. There are different ways you can be able to publish your videos, and obviously the best and the common one currently is the YouTube. This is because it is the easiest service for you to work with. You can certainly choose any other out there, though, especially if your district blocks YouTube. You can be able to, the easiest kind of, the easiest service that you can be able to use to publish your video, as I've said here, can be the YouTube. But of course, there are main things that you need to consider. Number one, what service will be the easiest for your students to access at home? The big question here is, are your students able to access the YouTube? Assuming you decide to share them in the YouTube, or you decide to share them in OneDrive, or you decide to share them in whichever platform, are the students able to access that content from home? And then the other question you need to ask yourself, will the service I choose allow students to watch my videos on multiple devices? When I talk about multiple devices, it means a wide variety of devices like smartphones, like iPads, like desktop. So you should be able to have content, or you should be able to have video that can be used on multiple devices. And then the other thing you need to ask yourself, do I want my videos to be public or private? And of course, YouTube has this option. That is something you need to understand. You can be able to choose whether you want to make your videos to be public or private. And the main reason for choosing YouTube is that it is available everywhere. On every device, you can be able to access YouTube. My students have literally no excuse for not watching my videos. They can't claim technological difficulties because, of course, even if I share the content in the YouTube, that one is a universal. It is a place where they can be able to access. And then the other part, the other step to a flipped classroom. So I've said the first step is the kind of technology that you want to use. So I've said you just need to go for low-tech technology or high-tech technology, depending on your level as a teacher. Number two, I've talked about the method of uploading your videos. I've said the best one is YouTube, of course, because of the many reasons that I've been able to cite. And then the other one, step number three, is make your videos. When it is time to make your videos, set some limits. You need to have limits for your videos. These limits will not only help you in making them, but it will also help your students while they watch. You can have your video of a maximum of 5 minutes and more than 3 videos assigned per night. And this way, students are not overloaded at any night. You know, when you come up with a very long video also, the students might not be able to go. There might be challenges of downloading the video. So you need to have a video that has a maximum video length of around 5 minutes. And then while filming, make sure that you add some flair. Be yourself. When you are taking the video, be yourself. Be funny, be at ease. This is a good way to keep your students' interest and show them that you are still their teacher, even though they are in a cyberspace. And then the fourth thing that you need to make sure that the fourth step is make your students accountable for watching your videos. You need to ensure that you have a way in which you ensure that your students are accountable for watching the videos that you upload to them. And one of the main questions I get when I'm presenting flipped classroom is how I know my students are watching videos. How can you be able to tell that your students are watching the videos that you send to them? It is very important to hold your students accountable for watching them every evening. There are a few ways you can be able to do. Number one, so what you can be able to do is you can be able to hide, maybe you can be able to hide a picture or a word or a phrase in the videos and then ask it the next day. So there are many ways you can be able to use as a teacher for you to ensure that you actually get to know whether the students were able to go through the videos that you send to them. And then this way, this is going to put a responsibility on the students, because the students are going to be responsible for watching and understanding the videos. So the more they continue watching and understanding the videos, the more they become more independent learners, which is of vital importance in today's ever-changing world. The other one is you need to keep it up. Video, find a video making schedule that feeds your lifestyle. So for the entire day and knocked out all their videos. You need to make sure, you need to take a preferred time, a preferred schedule, probably at home on Sundays. And you need to keep in mind that you get to reuse your videos in the future. So you are supposed to make sure that you are saving them. So what I'm saying here is you need to have a good schedule, choose an ideal day for you, a convenient day, and make sure that as you make your videos, you are also saving them, because probably in the near future, you are also going to require them. And then the other thing is that you need to bask in the glow of free teaching. Well-reduced stress teaching. Once you have your videos making schedule underway, you can start to reflect on how much less stress you have. So you need to understand that the flipped classroom model changes the way you teach. If you are a teacher that likes to keep up the current advancement in education and reap the vast rewards, the model is a great thing to try. More to access material. They will have more to access to you, which is the biggest benefit of a flipped classroom. After all, you are their most important resource. As a teacher, you don't need to forget that you are the most important resource to your students. So that can help an instructor to tackle this content. While there are many flipped tools for the flipping or inverting the classroom, make sure that the materials that the students use are in centralized apps, such as the your learning management system. So some of the flipped tools that you can be able to use, number one is the Khan Academy. Khan Academy for video lectures. It has over 3,000 videos. The Kenyan teachers, you know, you also have the KICD. You can be able to get so many tools there. We also have what we call the Nearpod. A Nearpod allows students to engage with interactive lessons. Example, we have the poll, we have the virtual reality field trips, open-ended questions and quizzes. Of course, you can also have the Play Posit and BrainPop, which is an automated educational site for students. So these are not the only tools that you can be able to use. You need to understand there are so many other tools that are available for you for use. So that is my presentation. I think I'm done. Back to you, Gatatik. Thank you very much for listening to me. And I want to wish you a great time as you work towards engaging yourself in a flipped classroom environment.
Well, okay, that's amazing, superb. Okay, that's great presentations. You know, you get from the educators here in the chat box, and there is one question here from Abdika Adan. What about the learners who have special needs, Felix? Hello, Felix.
So, hello, I can be able to hear you. So what you need to do with the learners, so what you need to do with the learners with special needs, there is what we call the assistive technology. We have what we call the assistive technology. Maybe I can be able to share that. So I think this is something that you are able to go through. Maybe I can be able to share briefly about this. There are many tools that you can be able to use for the learners with special needs. It's what we call the assistive technology that we can all be able to use. Let me just share that. So for the learners with special needs, of course, we have what we call the assistive technologies. And under the assistive technologies, So these are some of the assistive technology. You can be able to use different assistive technologies depending on the kind of learners that you are handling. If you are handling learners with problems of visual problems, you can be able to use all these kind of varieties. You need to understand your learners. If you are handling students with learners with, of course, some of these challenges, the special needs, you need to understand that there is a wide variety of assistive technology. For example, if you are handling learners with hearing impairment, you can be able to use speech recognition softwares, real-time captioning. You can be able to use immersive readers, eye communication, and so forth. If you are handling students with other challenges like autism, you can be able to use the AT communication skills such as Sense Pickup app. You can also be able to use the AT for social skills. You can also be able to use touch screen devices, visual representation systems, augmented communication technology for nonverbal learners, and so forth. So what I'm trying to say, Madam, in response to the question that has been posted by that great change maker is that we need to understand some of the assistive technology that we can be able to use for our learners.